Hey there, my name is Brighton. Welcome back to another midweek, joined once again with Pastor Aaron. Hey.
Hey.
We just started our Advent series titled Seasons Meetings. Do you mind just sharing a little bit of your idea behind this Advent series? Typically here at King Street Church, we have the hope, love, joy, peace messages here as we prepare for Advent. So what is your idea for Seasons Meetings?
So let me just ask you a question on this one.
Yeah.
You mean you all didn't want to talk about death and judgment in previous years?
It is typically not what we usually talk about.
I can hardly imagine why you wouldn't want to talk about death and judgment.
Right.
So why have this as a series? Precisely because of that. Some of these things are things we don't want to talk about. Like, we don't want to talk about, and I think about being around friends and family for the holidays. Sometimes you get into one of those conversations and you're like, oh man, like we're in it. Like, we're in a real conversation, like a serious one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about a parent, maybe it's about a child, maybe it's about work, whatever it is. And sometimes those are heavy conversations can be really meaningful ones. Well, the church is a place to have heavy conversations. The church is a place to talk about things that really matter. Now, that's not to say that love, joy, peace, and hope don't matter. I mean, faith, hope, and love, those three abide, but the greatest of these is love, right?
Yeah.
Of course, those matter, but we're kind of more comfortable talking about those things. We're kind of more comfortable talking about them in a superficial way. When we talk about the final things, death, judgment, hell, and heaven, it's actually an inroad into having serious conversations about what love is and how rich and meaningful hope is in the contemporary day, in our current day. How important it is to have faith even when you're in the toughest of days, when you're facing death. Like, those things are good. Sometimes we only see how weighty love, joy, peace, hope are whenever we talk about things that we maybe want to keep at arm's length, like death and judgment and even hell.
Yeah, in the beginning, in your setup, in your message, you shared, if we can't talk about these heavy topics in church, if Christ doesn't invite these conversations for us to have, then when can we have those? That's really important for us to not only be able to have those here in church, but to be able to have those conversations outside the walls as well, right?
Well, exactly. And we can't have them faithfully without Christ. We don't know about death without thinking about the death of God's Son, Jesus. We don't know about heaven without thinking about God coming in flesh. We don't know about hell without thinking about we've got responsibility. We've got an invitation into God, and we also have agency. We've got freedom to say, no, I don't want that. So in a sense, not only do we have permission to talk about them, does Christ give us permission? He walks in those conversations with us. We can't have them well without him. When we take them into the world then, because people in the world, like everyday people, wonder about their death from time to time. Try as we might to ignore it and push it aside. It comes into our face from time to time. People in the world, our friends who aren't Christians, they need to have those conversations. And when we know that Christ goes with us into those conversations, then it's a game changer, right? Like, I don't need to bring my faith and I'm all on my own outside the work of God. No, the Holy Spirit goes with me. Christ is with me by the Holy Spirit to help me know how to have conversations, to represent him well, to speak thoughtfully, man, especially to listen, right? How important it is to listen well and respectfully when people are talking about really big questions of their lives. We can so often reflect Christ well in what we have to say, but also in how we listen to what others are saying to us as well.
So these themes that we're talking about this Advent season, they're the things that Jesus experienced, correct? Is that the connection between these different themes? Or where did death, judgment, hell, and heaven?
Well, traditionally they're called the final things, right?
Okay.
Death, judgment, heaven, hell. Like, that's, in a sense, we're all headed in those directions. Now, we've got a choice between heaven and hell, but we all face judgment in how our lives are adjudicated by God, what we did with the resources that were given to us. Most clearly, what we did with Jesus. We all will face physical death, except those of us who are yet alive when the Lord returns, as Paul says. So we're all headed there. Those are the final things that each one of us is destined for. And so we prepare for them now. I think that one of the reasons that we talk about them during Advent is that, you remember the phrase from the hymn that says, the hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight? Is that we don't see those things clearly and truly without knowing that God has come in Jesus Christ to save us from lost eternity, to bring God into the to wed heaven and earth, so to speak, in the incarnation of Jesus Christ, to give us hope in the midst of death, to let us know that while we face judgment, we've got an advocate by our side named Jesus, as part of the role he came to fulfill and will indeed still fulfill as our lives unfold. So when we think about all of the mystery of the incarnation, Jesus Christ born of a virgin, God the Son taking on flesh, and Jesus Christ being born of a virgin, we think about all the mystery of the incarnation. All of those things were sparked to think about and to talk about and to wrestle with.
So you talked about the 3 kinds of death, well, you highlighted, but then you mainly talked about the first 2, the physical death and also spiritual death. And then you mentioned the eternal death, which we will talk about a little bit later in this Advent series.
Can't wait, right? Just can't wait for it.
Just when you thought that the death message was just about death, we bring it back again a little bit later. It's coming back. And so then you talked about different ways when we are confronted with physical death. We as humans, we either try to avoid it, we try to hasten it, or we just ignore it. And in all those ways, you talked about how we are trying to control death, either to come quicker or to push it away. So what is that significance, or why is it the opposite of how we should think about death in terms of controlling versus not controlling it?
Yeah. If I was to maybe break that into 2 categories, one is to control death by saying I will never die, and then to live my life in a way that kind of pretends that to be the case. And I fight against death. I can fight against death. I mean, I mentioned like plastic surgery and this obsession with youth, this obsession to stay forever young, right? To deny that like I get older and I'm weaker, and at some point I peak physically and then it's a slow decline. That's one way to handle death, is just to deny it. Like I can fight it indefinitely. The other one is to say like I can control my own destiny, and I will choose for my own death when I see fit. That's such a huge conversation, most clearly in the midst of euthanasia. But it also starts to find its way into our maybe more everyday lives. Whenever I start to say like I control every bit of my time, I control all of what my meaning is, all of what my purpose is, what I can and cannot do with my own body, right? That kind of like lordship of myself is just mirrored whenever we try to be lord of our death, rather pushing it away or bring it close. The other one is just to give it no mind at all, right? So if that's trying to control it, the other side is to say like, well, you know what? I just have nothing to do with it. Come see, come saw, come what may. I just kind of live my life free and never give consideration to it. Now, both of those are kind of like ways to deal with God. If one is saying like, I will be God, I am in charge. I'm in charge of my life. I can maintain my own life and vitality and youth in everything that I eat, and obsessing with my eat and my diet and all that stuff. The other one says like, I'm totally hands off. Well, God will just take care of me, whatever. And in between those, and what we were saying is like a proper response to death is like, no, I had no control over my birth, but between my birth and my death, I have measures of agency. I have measures of agency to make decisions, to make choices, to take action, to make plans, and that's like the middle way. It's like, okay, I am an agent. I have a measure of freedom that's given to me as a Christ follower. I am free by the power of the Holy Spirit to respond to God's promptings truly and well and in obedience. Whenever I act in agency, then I know I can't deny my death, but I've got a part to play in valuing my body and valuing life, in treating my body well. I'm not going to obsess about it, but it's a gift that I want to steward well. And at the same time, God has given me agency. God has given me a measure of power. So I don't just say like, oh, God will take care of me, whatever may, I don't have to do anything. Like, no, there's a great responsibility and dignity that comes with being a meaningful agent. And so we can plan for our death. We don't just avoid it. We plan for it. We don't hasten it. We value our life. We don't hasten it in just like forgetting about our health. No, we value our lives. And we we plan our lives out. Now, some people are more apt to plan and some are less apt to plan. There's a way that you can kind of work in the middle. If you're like a total, on the Myers-Briggs, if you're a total J and want to like have a plan and structure for everything, it's a little bit more the way I'm wired. And other people are like, no, some things we'll just take as it comes. You can be a faithful agent in both of those kinds of personality traits. You can work them both out. But that's how we face our death. Don't ignore it. Don't hasten it. Don't pretend it'll never arrive. Don't fight it and obsess about fighting it. No, there's a meaningful way to approach it as I plan, as I value my life, as I live my life entrusted to God, knowing that one day, and one day you too, we will die.
Yeah, I think that's so good to think about. God is sovereign over our life and our days, but also over our death. And I think that was one of the main points in talking about death, is that our death without Christ's death is meaningless. So because Christ has also met us in death, then that means that we have victory over death as well through Christ.
Yeah, we are invited into it.
Yeah.
I mean, how amazing it is to think, as Hebrews says, that Christ tasted death for everyone.
Yeah.
Christ died. He knows what it's like to die physically. He was never spiritually dead. He was always in perfect relationship with the Father. Even as the Son of God takes on flesh in Jesus of Nazareth, he's always spiritually alive. He's never spiritually dead, but he undergoes the effects of spiritual death in his physical death.
Yeah.
And knows what that's like. Knows the physical effects of spiritual death while he is always physically or spiritually alive. What a transforming journey.
Yeah.
Like then it's like, as I face my death, I don't face it alone.
Right.
Christ walks with me. Christ has gone ahead of me into it. So how much different it is to approach that defining characteristic of our lives.
Yeah.
When they end with Christ by my side, knowing that it's not the end.
Right.
My physical life is over, but I anticipate resurrection.
Yeah.
I anticipate the unfolding story of Christ.
Yeah.
Even now.
Yeah, and you shared that Christ's death was not like just a little sampling of death. Like he didn't just like dip his toes in the water of death, but he fully experienced death.
Yeah, and really interesting. That was one of the kind of questions of the early church was like it was called the swoon theory, that Christ didn't really die. He just got like really close to death. He's taken off the cross. He's nursed back to life. Like, and the other church said definitively, no, Christ died. In fact, that's why the creed says he descended to the dead, or he descended into hell. He descended to the realm of the dead. He knows death fully. We might even say that Christ knows death more than anybody else knows death, precisely because he knows life in a way that nobody else knows life.
Yeah, that's true.
He knows physical death in a way beyond any of us can understand physical death. And he did. He tasted it fully. Christ truly died.
Yeah. Great. Well, I'm just going to kind of leave it there, like maybe having the people ask more questions and be able to dig into these conversations and these topics themselves. But we're so excited to kind of go through these heavier conversations as we prepare our heart for Advent and Christmas season. So thanks again, Pastor Aaron, for being here with us.
Thanks, Brighton.
And thanks to you for being here with us as well. Hopefully you found encouragement even in these conversations surrounding death. That Christ defeated death for us, and he walks with us through life and through death. So hopefully that encourages you, and have a great rest of your week.